Jar Oil. The company have filling stations across the country, and our rates are relatively cheaper than anyone else across the country. Jar Oil is the biggest producer and distributor of cement in the country with the most competitive prices in the market.
Axel Jammeh si Wave.
Yo, apply. Yo, luta do de. Luta mo nulo jël moto nga andil ma xaalis. Hello?
Bisul mu fine.
What?
Bisul mu fine.
Oh, yes!
Wave Axina Gambia. Deposit and withdraw money, pay bills and buy mobile credit without fees. Transfer money wherever in the country for only 1% fee. At Wave. Bisul mu fine? Wave. Your money is yours.
6 minutes past 11 o'clock is the time in the Gambia. We are here up to 12 o'clock, as long as we can engage Seedy. He's the Executive Secretary of the ruling National People's Party of President Adama Barrow. 77-11599 with your questions. Good morning, Peter. Please tell him that the scene of Lawyer Saho is different because, as history recorded, it was a political deal between Jawara and Saho, but the condition was Saho has to run for election in his constituency. Saho won the election, and Jawara failed to honor his side of the deal. That's the story behind the Lawyer Saho forming a party.
Was he there when the deal was done? Jawara came out and said there was never a deal between him and Saho. I think the gentleman or the lady or whoever probably didn't get the old facts. And there was never a deal. And in fact, Saho struggled so hard to win in Banjul Central, that election. Very hard. The margin was only 200. Whereas the previous elections, the margin was 1,000 plus. So he struggled very hard. So tell the gentleman, whoever is, probably he's older than me, but I've been a political dog
for a long time.
In my family. Yes, Peter, thank you so much. Well, if you have no question,
Go ahead.
I want to congratulate the people of this country.
What for?
For the history of this country, we are having a port, the deep sea port in Sanyang.
Oh, come on.
Come on, Peter.
That's just rhetoric. Somebody said that will never happen.
It is actually happening.
Is it?
Yes. On the 5th of July, everything commenced.
What will happen?
Everything commenced. The whole Gambian people are invited to Sanyang, where President Barrow will lay the foundation stone of the work of the Sanyang port, the deep sea port, an investment of over $300 million US. A contract, a negotiation that took 7 solid years, day and night, is a lot for this country. The biggest investment of our lifetime. And I must commend the people of Sanyang. At the beginning, there was a lot of noise going on. Some people weren't happy here and there. Some people have been feeding them wrong information here and there. But they begin to realize this is for them and this is for the Gambian people. It is going to transform the whole of Congo, the whole of this country. And not only this country, but the sub-region.
How? Just a deep sea port?
Yeah, because, Peter, when I, for example, get a car from Belgium, it's quicker, easier to be taken to Senegal than here. Because these mother ships, you know, I know, mother ships cannot land or cannot dock in Banjul because it is not deep enough. Of recent, we have seen even Jammeh bring 50,000 metric tons of cement, and it cannot, get to our ports. You have to use the smaller boats to go right there and then bring it. So when we have a deep sea port, I can get a vehicle in Belgium, in Germany, in 7 days to Banjul. That alone make business something else for the Gambian people. So I'm inviting the whole country, including President Barrow. Why am I inviting President Barrow? Because I'm a Kombonka. This is my home. This is where I'm from, in Combo, in West Coast, to come and join us to celebrate.
He doesn't need an invitation because he's going to be the...
Of course, we can still invite him. He's the president, but He's the president of the Republic of the Gambia, but when he comes to Combo, he comes to the Kombonkers. He comes to us.
So you're going to be his Njatigis?
In fact, we are not only going to be Jatiji, we are going to welcome him. Okay. A welcome probably never happened in this country. So, Peter, we must commend the government of the Gambia under the leadership of President Barrow for achieving such a brilliant investment for the Gambian people. And again, we must not play politics in this. If I sit here and talk about this deep sea port, it's not about politics. It's about the investment for this country and the lives.
Well, the timing is significant. We're just heading towards elections.
And again,
and you put this here, and people will say,
no, but we've worked so hard for it, 7 solid years. And again, before we go to Sanyang ports, we have seen what happened in our ports in Banjul. Peter, you and I and many others sit here and grumble all the time. Bagasi, gal munuta, port with them. What is actually happening?
Tell me, what is happening?
You are aware, I even had on certain platforms that the port is actually making headway. Gali Tahatun, they are not there, waiting and waiting and waiting. The work is going. And they did not change the management. They did not change the staff. They did not bring any new equipments. But what they did was to talk to the people, to change the attitude of the people. So it is important. Everything in this country can be hanky-dory, can be perfect for us if we just worked on our attitude. And I'm number one. Maybe I'm doing something that I should not do. Maybe I'm doing something that I need to work on. Yeah. So we must take...
UDP will say, stop doing propaganda.
It's not propaganda, but we have seen the success in the last 6-7 months that the ports of Banjul have done.
Yeah, but not every Gambian is happy that 80% of whatever is coming in goes to,
it is not 80%. I mean, people need to...
It's 80-20.
Listen, it's not just the figure, but look at what benefit it's having for us.
What benefit is it having?
A lot more. We are not struggling with, boats, with ships struggling at our ports. Work is going on. Goods are coming in the market. Transit goods are going. The flow is there. The revenue is coming. Today, GRA, if you go into their books, you'll see something different as far as ports is concerned. So it is important for us to understand that. The success that is happening is not just President Barrow, it's for the Gambian people. When I wake up every morning, I want to listen to Coffee Time. Why? Because I know Peter sits here and have something that is authentic since my dad used to listen to the transistor.
So what's Barrow's, so what's Barrow's input in that?
No, not the input. Oh, okay. I'm just saying, right. I'm just saying when people make success and they make they're authentic, they do the right thing for the longest time. We must commend them, from Radio Gambia. My dad will fight with me with his transistor to make sure that Peter Gomez is coming on 8 o'clock news. So still the same Peter Gomez is here, nothing changed.
Flattery will take you
I'm not flattering you.
Okay, yes. So $300 million to be invested in offshore.
Yeah.
What guarantees are there that the $300 million will not go, into thin air as 100 million went into prospecting for oil, as Barrow admitted in his State of the Nation address? $100 million US dollars, just like that.
No, this is not about that. What I'm basically saying, the company that is managing the ports of Banjul have demonstrated and have shown to the Gambian people what they are capable of doing and what they can do. So if they put their hand in Sanyang ports, I have no doubt in my mind they will deliver. So so definitely. And again, Peter, just to conclude, I know I'm not. I should not be here, actually calling for Gambian people to come out. But I am saying, every single Gambian is not opposition. It's not party politics. Let's all go to celebrate in Sanyang on the 5th of July. It is important. It's historical.
Well, we can't all fit in Sanyang.
We will fit in.
If we were all to go to Sanyang.
We'll fit in Sanyang. These people of Sanyang.
2.4 million Gambians?
The people of Sanyang are ready to welcome us.
Can Sanyang hold 2.4 million?
Not everybody will go, but I'm saying everybody's invited. Everybody's invited, Peter.
Any more thing?
I don't know. I mean, Sanyang for me is very close to my heart because it will change the lives of the people. It will bring more infrastructure, more housing. Values of properties will go. So everything.
The launching on the 5th of July.
Yes. And President Barrow will be there to lay the foundation.
And how long will it take?
It's going to be an all-day program.
No, I mean the project.
The project, in 2 years it will be done.
Seriously?
Yeah, yes.
So by 2027, by this time, 2027, the deep sea port will be operational?
You'll sit here and use your social media and do an eBay in Belgium and get a car here in 7 days.
Okay. Well,
you not have to struggle to get a vehicle to Dakar.
Fantastic. That's good. That's great news.
Absolutely. And we should all celebrate.
That's great news.
Yes. And I guess when you have Usainu Dabo here again, he will celebrate that.
Good morning, Uncle Peter. You asked him about the rising living conditions, but he failed to elaborate on that. And that is the number one concern of the citizens. Survival first before any empty stomach. He always uses Usainu Dabo to escape your questions. Let him remember he is not talking to schoolboys. Why are you using Usainu Dabo
I did not use Usainu Dabo. This is not the first time I appeared on Coffee Time. But the reason Usainu come in reference is because he was here yesterday. And, talking about when it's a cost of living, I think we need to understand that Gambia is not an island. We have seen the global challenge in terms of goods and services since after the COVID, the Ukraine-Russia war, and we don't want to use that as an escape route all the time when we talk about these things. But what President Barrow has done is to make sure that our farmers, whether it's rice farmers or it's people in their gardens, to give them the support that they needed. We have seen for the first time in the history of this country where fertilizer was quite cheap. And again, a lot of people were given free fertilizer, free seed, under the leadership of Honorable Minister Dr. Demba Sabali as the Minister of Agriculture. So we are doing a lot more in terms of helping Gambian people to cultivate what they would in turn have as food. But again, it is also important for us to understand that most of these goods that we consume, are things that we don't produce.
Yeah, we know that, yes.
So we are not the person responsible for fixing the prices for a tin of tomato that I bought from or imported from Israel, or a box of canned drinks that comes from Lebanon. They produce it there and they bring it here. Their freight has gone up.
Yeah.
And again,
the phenomenon is known as imported inflation.
Imported inflation. And again, it is important for those who listen to your programs, and most of these people, have traveled around the world. You ask them, a carton of milk that I used to buy in the UK for £1.49, the last time I went to the UK, I was buying it £3.10. A carton of milk.
Seriously?
Yes.
£3?
Yes. Ask anybody.
Not £1.60 something, £1.70 something, not even £2.
No, over 100% jump.
Oh, wow.
In those prices. And even eggs. I'm just telling you the daily, things that we need in the high street, in our supermarkets, in Europe, in all parts of the world. It's gone up. So it is important for people to understand these are the factors. So how do we, get this off our back? That you and I can go to the market with our little money and get what we want, is to make sure that we go and cultivate what we're supposed to cultivate. I've seen... Yeah.
That's why they're saying...
I've seen poultry.
That's why they're saying don't send
local chicken. Local chicken is all over the place now. I mean, people are doing a lot more. Gambians today are doing a lot more. Even our borumbortis, the ginger and all this, the local produce are coming. So we should encourage more of that. And my advice to government, they are doing it, but it's to continue to support our local entrepreneurs, our small businesses. How can we empower them so that we can get to where we want to? Because no country can survive if you do not invest into the productive sector of your economy. It is very important, and that's what President Barrow believes, and that's what his government believes, and us as the National People's Party, that's what we believe, is to invest into the productive sector of this country to create the food that we need. Sakir, do komuna denkane. And for the longest time, Gambia didn't denkane sun kir. So President Barrow is turning it around. Denkane amut, ñu ñoko yor.
Good morning, Uncle Peter and Seedy Cisse. I must thank your guest for coming to talk to citizens on burning issues. However, I am dissatisfied, or better still, disappointed in his response with regard to the U.S. topic. Question 1, can he tell us how much has the government received from MCC, if he knows, and the impact it has? Question 2, what are they doing at party level to engage the US to continue to render support to Gambia and Gambians? Question 3, what are they doing about the high cost of living, including cement?
Right. Let's.
MCC, Millennium Challenge Corporation.
When I sit here, of course, I'm a citizen of this country, National People's Party, and again, we are in government.
Yes, you are.
But we have a government is the government of the Gambia.
And you're not part of the government structure.
I'm not part of the government structure. And also, it is important for people to understand there are people who sit in those offices. They may not support MPP, or they may not even support.
Oh, you've got rid of all of them.
No, I mean, come on, Peter, you can't. You cannot fire everybody. No, you cannot fire anybody who don't support MPP. There are people there who don't support MPP. So it is important that your medium and other mediums to engage, some of these heads of institutions, government agencies, to come and talk to you guys. So on that part, we'll allow you guys to do that because we cannot speak for them.
So you can't speak to the MCC question?
I cannot speak to that because, you need to talk to the right people.
What about the level of engagement with the U.S. For it to continue rendering support to Gambia and Gambians? I spoke about withdrawal of support for USAID.
But we have seen the ambassador of USA have recently paid a courtesy call on the president, and there's been a lot of closed-door talks that did happen, and I guess it's still continuing. And as a party, we are also, engaging our brothers, in the U.S. Some people are in the U.S. who works in various agencies, and they are supporters of the MPP, and they are Gambians. We also talk to them, and I think that's the route we can take. We cannot take an informal way. We cannot take a formal way of trying to engage the government of the United States, but some of our allies who are actually in the U.S. and working in various institutions, various agencies, we talk to them. But with the issue of cement, I think the minister probably has spoken about that. He's been on national television, GRTS.
Who watches national television?
But I think they have social media platforms, whatever. But we have seen there has been hiccups in terms of cement. It's not that spent is deliberately, sauteed in the country. It's been a problem. And these things happens anywhere where certain things here and there would have an impact or would bring certain challenges. But as I understand from yesterday, there's still more cement is on its way and already in the country. And quite soon, every supplier will get the amount of cement they need for it to go. So
what about the other aspect of that particular question? Exactly.
We talked about cost of living. I think the gentleman's question came.
He's asking, what are you doing? Meaning,
what we are doing, like I said, we as a government, are putting money where it matters. That is to help the young entrepreneurs, help people in their farms, in their gardens, to make sure that we produce what we eat. That's what I'm saying. The productive sector of this country, we must invest. For the first time in the history of this country, we have seen the price of fertilizer. We have seen the small loans that have been going on, that soft loans have been given, grants have been given to people who are out there. If I sit in my house in Kololi, even I have a little backyard, I don't want to put my pepper there or my kanja there. Come on, you have to go to Tipa Garage and buy kanja and pepper. But, again, it's also important for us to understand when you go to Tipa Garage or you go to all these markets, even our local produce, they put them in hike. It's because we are not doing it. We should do it. Peter, if you have a little backyard, what will stop you putting potato there, for example? But
I'm not a farmer. I have
you don't have to be a farmer. Today, you can use YouTube and know how to plant okra, for example, or tomato, or potato. So, I visited Ghana. In fact, Ghana has been a country that I fall in love the days I was studying there. But I have seen where people who lived in Accra, they have flats, they have story buildings, but on top of their story buildings, they will be planting, sort of potatoes and all sort of things there. And these are things that they are produce they will eat. But if you all want to sit in our homes in Brookfood and all that and forget about the backyard and expect to go to the market every day to pick it up, if you can get few guana pepper in your backyard, you are helping yourself.
And speaking of cost of living, the price of bread will go up from next Tuesday. That's not how you fight a rise in cost of living, is it?
No, you see, the issue of bread has been on here for a very, very long time. I think quite a lot of commodities have gone up, and bread remains to be.
Just because other commodities have gone up is no excuse for bread to go up.
So the government of the Gambia and the Ministry of Trade have continued to engage, the association of the bakers. And I think that engagement continues, and I think they will find the right measures. And if bread have to go up, I think the weight of bread will go up, the quality will go up. So you value for money. It's better for me not to spend $10 on a bread that will not feed me.
That's a good answer.
Yes. But so the quality of bread,
the price has gone up, but the weight will also go up.
So it's good that
it's a question
people understand.
of whether the ministry, as promised, will make sure that yes, if we pay more for bread, we get a higher weight, a heavier weight rather for the bread.
And also it's important for us to understand the ministry staffs cannot be everywhere. You and I are the consumers. We go to the corners to buy this bread.
The problem about this country, you report something, nothing happens.
No. Don't make such a sweeping statement, Peter.
Well,
Peter, I have reported things and I see it happen.
It's you.
No, it's not me.
It's you.
No, not because...
When you were not NPP, I'm sure people did not take you into account.
No. So, Peter, those who are listening, if you go to your corner, so you bought a bread and the bread is not what is expected, talk to the right people. And I think, moving forward...
Who are the right people? Who are the right people?
No, let me help you. Let me clear this, not to help you, but I think moving forward, what I will do as a citizen, not as admin secretary of the National People's Party, I will engage the Honorable Minister, a good brother, a good friend, Mr. Juf, to make sure they have free toll lines, so that people can call and report when they go out and buy bread and they are not satisfied. It is important that to be done, and I want to make sure that I will deliver that message. I think it is important.
I'm sure you can also make sure that it's implemented.
Yes, we'll follow it up. We'll make a follow-up, yes.
We hope the Sanyang deep sea port will not be like the Radisson Blue Hotel, foundation stone laid, years without a single block, and no repercussions. What does that mean? You're on camera. So
the Radisson. No, I'm not. The Radisson Blue is a public-private business enterprise. I understand. I didn't know much about it. Of course, I saw it happen. The gentleman I've also been following. He's been going back and forth to court and stuff like that. So I didn't want to comment about that. But as far as the deep sea port is concerned, like I said, we have seen a little spin what they have done in Banjul, so I'm with all the confidence that they can do it. And in fact, they are not, this is not the first project that they have done. They've been in other parts of the world and they have done other great and magnificent work. And as far as Turkey is concerned, they're also competing in the global world in terms of trade, in terms of infrastructure. So
he lamented the fact that despite, all the razzmatazz that accompanied the laying of the foundation stone for a supposed Radisson Blue Hotel, to date nothing's happened and there has been no repercussion, as per the texter.
Yes, you may say that. Because
repercussion as in consequence.
Yeah, you may say that because you and I didn't know, but this is something that I will take.
No, I didn't say. I said the texter did.
Yes, okay. You may say that. I don't know, but I will take this back. That's why we like to come to these programs. We listen to the people. As President Barrow said, listen to the people.
Does he listen to the people?
Listen to he's he's the most informed person in this country.
A good number of the people say he shouldn't run for office. So if he listens to people, then he wouldn't run.
No. You see, I had one of the MPs making that statement, but a good friend of mine came and countered that, which is good. So
let's move on to the next text message. Hi, Uncle Peter. Please tell your guest that the agreement between the Gambia government and Al Bayrak or Al Port does not favor us, we the dock workers, because these people have reduced our wages by force, and the agreement between the government and Al Bayrak is 600,000 million euros for 30 years. Now, is that Al Bayrak giving us or Al Bayrak taking from the Gambia?
I think he needs to help us. Whoever takes that, But if he said their wages have been reduced,
600 million. That's like what? 6 trillion?
No, I mean, is it that for the Gambia or for the
For 30 years. That's what I'm saying. I mean,
so he should go further to explain. But talking about their wages have been reduced, what sort of contract do they have? If you and I have a contract, Peter, I cannot just walk and say I'm changing this clause or I'm changing that. But so if they are not done properly, I mean, the courts are here. The court is not serving Barrow or Seedy or a dog walker. Is here to do the right thing. So probably if they feel they're not been treated well, they can go to the court. But I know for a fact that the port is actually delivering now than before. No disrespect to those who are there, but productivity is happening. And this is what we need to work on as a country, productivity. You see people go to work, Peter, they sit there hour or so just for lunch. I find out at the ports before they used to go for like 4 hours break. Where in this world can 4 hours break? They are listening.
Do they work 24 hours then?
No. 4 hours break. Oh, wow. What? I mean, come on. You cannot. Hours. Nobody can. No institution can afford that. 4 hours break.
I should have gone looking for a job there.
Come on. That's unacceptable for me.
Jar Oil. The company have filling stations across the country, and our rates are relatively cheaper than anyone else across the country. Jar Oil is the biggest producer and distributor of cement in the country with the most competitive prices in the market.
Axila jam si Wave.
Yo, apply. Yo, luta do de. Luta mo nulo jël moto nga andil ma xaalis. Hello?
Bisul mu fay.
What?
Bisul mu fine.
Oh. Yes!
Wave Axina Gambia. Deposit and withdraw money, pay bills and buy mobile credit without fees. Transfer money wherever in the country for only 1% fee. Ak Wave. Bisul mu fine? Wave. Your money is yours.
Hi, Uncle Peter. Can your guest clarify why the former strongmen of the former dictator they continue to castigate hold key positions in the regime? Is that not political dishonesty and inconsistency?
Former. When you say former, who actually? Because at the end of the day, Peter, we're all Gambians.
Oh, come on. Don't tell me former who as if you do not know.
We're all Gambians. And we went through a commission. The TRRC has been here, and people have been named. People have been sent on administrative leave, etc., etc. So if anybody, in question and is not being found wanting by the TRRC or other reports, unless the president pardon them, they cannot hold some or certain positions. I think that's very clear. Okay. But I cannot judge Peter because Peter is Adama Barrow's friend, so da-da-da. No, we are Gambians. Gambians first, before Adama Barrow, before MPP, before APRC. That is important. It is important.
Well, it used to be important. I'm not sure now.
It is very important. It's very important.
People my generation and older.
Yes.
I mean, that's what we lament. That's what we miss. That's the Gambia.
What did you miss, Peter?
Yeah, the Gambia that we long for. The kind of Gambia where Peter and Seedy did not see each other as Manjago and Mandinka, Christian and Muslim. We just saw ourselves as...
Peter, that's what I believe, and that's what I live every day. I remember when it's Christmas, my father... Yeah,
but you know that today...
My father will always take me to go and have Christmas.
Yeah, but I'm telling you that...
And that's what is actually happening. And in fact, I guess the guy who sent the text will come back again. I'm talking about Hussein, not running away. But Hussein talked about when he was greeting Barrow, when he greeted Barrow, pleasant. In fact, that's a Gambian sort of thing. We extend pleasant greeting. So that is still here. In Gambia, like I said, this off record, that we will gossip about each other.
Off record when you are on the radio. Off record when you are on the radio.
No, I know. Well, I'm just saying. You see, in Gambia we will gossip about each other, but when we see each other, we want to eat each other. So that's the best thing.
Are you suggesting that Usainu gossips about?
No. I'm not saying
Barrow and Barrow gossips about Usainu.
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying Gambia we are good as Peter. So you say Peter. No go on.
And I'm saying, not lolu Barrow def. Barrow
deful lol. No, Barrow deful lol. That's what I'm saying. So, there's nothing that you are missing. What we missed, in the 80s, is back. We have a president who is very tolerant, who listens. Yes, we have our challenges, in the Yaya Jammeh time. But right now, Peter, what do you miss?
Why are you people still allowing Yaya Jammeh to sit, conveniently somewhere and always, just spews hate into this country?
You see, I think what people
Why can't Barrow talk directly to, what's the guy in Equatorial Guinea? Obiang. Yeah.
You trying to give Yaya Jammeh relevance by talking to Obiang? Yaya Jammeh wants to be relevant.
Yeah, but come on.
I mean, he wants to. You see,
is he not in the newspapers with what he said?
It's just that the newspapers don't have any story to carry. If I am editor-in-chief of a newspaper in this country, I will not carry Yaya Jammeh. He wants to be relevant. The last audio that Yaya Jammeh released, no, Peter, just wait. The last audio that Yaya Jammeh released is talking about a female MP who wants to visit him in Equatorial Guinea and say, make sure when you're coming, you come with your husband. Come on, is he in his right mind?
Do you think he's not in his right mind?
No, come on. The guy is losing it.
Oh.
He's losing it. You see, I said this and I continue to say that Yaya Jammeh, things that happened to him, he was never expecting them. He has consumed power, he was power drunk, and whatever happened came to him as a surprise. And I'm very happy that we have President Barrow today who is not consumed by power, who really lives...
Not consumed by power?
No.
He should leave
He
at the end of 2026.
He keeps saying for him, it's not a big deal. He's just here to serve the people.
Yeah,
when he's out, he's out.
Let him withdraw his candidacy for 2026 then.
It's us, the people of the National People Party, who went to Mansakonko, Jarasoma, and unanimously selected or elected or nominated him.
He could have said no, simply. Ntakela.
Domi Adama. Sa jene wala. Ya ko mom. Sa jene wala ya ndira ko bok. One of his half is his, the other half is us.
Okay.
So if we say to him, we want you to do this for us, for the legacy of your party and your legacy, you need to continue.
So you'll find a presidential candidate for 2031.
The National People's Party is full of people with competency.
The question is straight. Don't do a Sankari on me.
No, it's not a Sankari.
This is a yes or no question.
Not that I will find or we will find,
yeah.
But President Barrow knows that at some point he will step aside, and he has said that. That's why he famously said...
Is that point going to be 2031?
That's why he famously said, Bugana suma domi jel, nyene nyi jel ko dawa mom, waxu dom bu mjur, moy National People's Party, moy sun bay. So that's it.
Good morning, Uncle Peter. Well, the port being efficient now with no new equipment is an indictment on the sheer incompetence of how the port was run under the government.
Under the government? Yes. That's why the government did what they did. So it's not under their watch. Mm-hmm. They have seen it. They see they could do something about it, and they have done something about it. So definitely credit to Adama Barrow and his government for turning things around at the ports. It's not the government. They've seen the bad of the ports, and they've changed it.
Gambians can no longer be fooled by politricks. We were supposed to be self-sufficient in electricity by now, be close to food self-sufficiency, and have significant job creation for the youth. Instead, we have modern slavery for our youth on European farms, rising cost of living, intermittent electricity supply, and a virtually dead agricultural sector.
Interesting when this, whoever writes that politrickery, I hope it's not Sol Benga in the US. That's his famous word.
It's not. It's definitely not. I can tell you that
my greetings to him. Anyway,
this is actually from a lady.
Oh, good.
Women usually don't talk this hard.
We cannot be fooled anymore. I'm not sitting here to fool anybody. I'm here to give the right information to the Gambian people. Infrastructure is important. And this lady who sent this message was not born 1994. Probably, if not older than me, in the same generation. We have seen what was here as far as electrical infrastructure is concerned. And transforming that will take a lot more. And that's what President Barrow is doing. You cannot do anything with electricity without infrastructure. We have seen the solar plant in Jambur. We have seen another one is out there. People are bidding for it for Jarosoma. This is all renewable energy for the country, definitely. And you have seen, Peter, to my disgust, that some people went and vandalized the solar plant in Sanyang, in Jambur. Who in their right mind does that? Are you doing this to hurt President Barrow, or are you doing this to hurt Peter Gomez or Seedy?
It could have been avoided.
Yes, of course, it could have been avoided, but we don't actually need, to have men in, in uniform.
You don't need.
There.
I mean, that's.
Come on, it should be every citizen's responsibility to protect what belongs to each and every one of us.
It's also good to anticipate, issues.
Yes, of course, we shouldn't take anything for granted. But again, with all fairness, those who go and do that, they're doing more harm.
Have they been caught? Has anybody been caught?
I'm not aware, but I think I'm very ashamed of such act, and I think I'll take this opportunity to talk to the Gambian people. A street tap in London Corner, if you damage it, you are not disturbing Peter Gomez, but you are disturbing the whole community. Just because it's by Peter's door doesn't necessarily mean it's Peter who is the only one benefiting from it.
So that's addressing the intermittent electricity complaint. What about the other aspects? More jobs for youths.
Yeah, we have seen TPEC centers being built, Peter. You see, Gambia, we had only GTTI, and even before GTTI, we had the one by my former school, Muslim High School. That was the annex. It turned to be the annex, but before the annex, that's what we had.
It was called the Vocational Training School.
Vocational Training School. And when
Training Center.
Training Center.
VTC.
VTC. Yeah. So when I went to Muslim High School, I saw it there. We used to get our mangoes.
You're a kid.
I'm a kid.
People who went to Muslim High School and St. Peter's High School. Those schools only started in 1975.
So, Peter, PWD, can you tell this
Public Works Department?
Can you tell this lady of ours who takes whether I guess she knows PWD?
Oh, she would.
What happened to PWD? This is the question that we should ask everybody. We had the Vocational Training Center, we had PWD, all was done to build skills.
And we had junior secondary technical schools.
Yes,
Position the mic for me, please. You're a pro in microphones.
So these were all done, Peter, to build the skills of this country.
True.
In the 80s, I was little, but I used to remember my dad used to have few young ones around him to teach them. But all of a sudden, it will vanish.
Yeah.
Manduma watches Rahasu.
Oh no, young people today don't even want to do apprenticeship.
Yeah,
they come to you, they say, well, I'm looking for, internship opportunity. And the next minute you have to pay for my transport fares and whatever.
Yes. So duma lije wacha Rahasu. That's what they believe. So PWD didn't go. The vocational center did not go. It was only GTTI. And eventually it got very reduced to what? That is a proverb that President Barrow told me, and I must say this.
Everything is President Barrow.
No, come on. He said to me, Sabay sude, nga joy nga nopi, olu nga sabop. Why sabay sude, nga joy nga banya nopi. Ni fa fata, ikumbo na yede, ilati fawalal. Ni fa fata kumbo de mede, imale fawalal.
How many stories does he have, and how many proverbs?
No, the man has a wealth of proverbs. And for me, I enjoy sitting with him and getting those proverbs. Because everything that he says, as far as proverbs go, it helps you to understand the real life.
Hi, Uncle
He has a gift of God.
Hi, Uncle Peter. I have gift of God as well. Hi, Uncle Peter. Can you tell Seedy, the UK government is still providing cost of living support for families? I believe he knows about public transport fare cap since COVID and still going on. And I believe he knows about universal credit for families or individuals who don't earn DLA, that's disability living allowance, carers allowance, and so on. So you can't compare Gambia and UK when it comes to living conditions of people. In the UK, prices normally come down when inflation comes down. But in the Gambia, when prices go up, they never come down, even though Barrow claimed inflation has come down significantly in his honor. By the way, this text is sending this from the UK. So.
Good. Yes. So thank you. I thank the texter very well. But probably he's in the UK. He's not in tune with what is actually happening. Let me tell him that.
He's not in tune.
No. You're talking about supporting families. How many single women family heads have been supported? I think at some point you are even running and
through the Nafa thing.
Through the Nafa thing,
okay.
And not only that, there are other so many helps that we are giving to families across the country. So whoever the texter is, if we cannot give benefit support in this country, but there are a number of families, over 3,000 households, that have been supported every month, just for him to know that. And if he comes on holiday, whoever the person is, I'll take him around to meet some of those families.
What about disability support allowance? I should be entitled. When are you? When are you introducing that?
The social welfare here does a lot of support to disability people, but even in the UK, not every disability or disabled person is entitled.
You're trying to rule me out now.
No.
This is definitely aimed at me. This is discrimination.
No, it's not discrimination, because you do the check system. You got to go and your earnings. You got to do these things. You got to go and
see where he's starting.
You got to go.
Instead of assessing my disability, you're saying my earnings.
That's why disability does not mean inability. The former minister of Homeland, UK, this guy, David Blanket, was a minister, but he was partially blind. He's a disabled person, but does not necessarily mean he should get disability benefit. So disability does not mean inability. So some disabled people are well people who can definitely do a lot.
What about prices coming down with inflation? We're beating our chest, claiming inflation has come down. Prices haven't come down.
Prices have come down, Peter. Rice, for example. We have seen just not long ago, onion have gone drastically low.
Well, that happens every year.
I mean, not every year.
Yeah,
even now
in
the market, it has gone down.
Yes.
So what we need to do, tell the gentleman, whoever the texter is, let the little money he has over there come here and get a little piece of land and grow something that it can go into the market. If we all take a 20 square meter, Peter, and grow something and put it in the market, will definitely bring prices down. And that's what I'm doing.
That's what you're doing?
Yes, and that's what many people are doing.
Okay. Good morning, Uncle Peter. In the press statement about the price increment of bread, it was mentioned that the weight of the bread will be monitored and any violation will face the consequences. This same government said there is no price control in our market. So why the contradictory statement? Or why should they monitor bread weight and not monitor other commodities in the market?
I thank him, or whoever. Mm-hmm. It is important to understand the press statement. Mm-hmm. We have never talked about prices of onion and say we're going to weigh how much the bag is. 50 kilos. Mm-hmm. Those are set. Mm-hmm. 50 kilo rice. But we are talking about bread. Here, the bakers and government ministry worked it out that if you're going to put this here, it has to come with this. I think anywhere in the developed countries, we have similar things like this. Even our neighbors here, Senegal, bread, the farm kilo. You go to the UK, the bread they sell, they have weight. So you cannot go below that. You see this agency that goes around and check. They can just walk into a supermarket and just pick a loaf of bread and weigh it just to actually know the weight. And this is what the ministry is talking about. And I'm sure they will have the infrastructure in place, they will have the technicians in place to go out there and do this. For once, I think Gambian people need to understand that what we are doing, not only we are doing the talk, we are doing the talk and the work as a government.
All right. The person who sent us that thing on Alport and that colossal figure has come in, and he's saying this is what they claim to be giving to the government. So in 30 years, you're looking at $60 billion. That's a lot of money in 30 years. Huh?
Absolutely. And
so
I think they can do it.
Because we've always said that these people have come here with nothing, just an empty briefcase to make 80. To make 80, out of every 100 that comes in.
Yeah, and I think they
60 billion.
Of course,
maybe dollars, not dollars.
No. It will actually help this country. I mean, Peter, we have already seen the benefits of our ports. We have seen it, and we are going to get ourselves a deep sea port.
Oh no. He's just corrected himself, 600 million.
Yes. We are going to see
600 million euros in 30 years. So that would be what?
I deal with dollars, I don't deal with euros.
Would that
you are a frequent visitor of Europe, so that's why you do your holidays. Yeah. So Peter, you go on holidays to Europe. I go on my holidays to the Fonyes and to the Kiang.
Since when? You just told us that you've just been back from... Come on, look at you. You're just boasting, about just coming back from the UK, and you're telling me that
Not holiday. You go on holiday.
The furthest I've gone this year is up to Brikama, actually.
Combo Brikama. When you say Brikama, you must...
How many this is the thing about Gambia. Gambia always has this thing here, there's even a Serekundanding somewhere.
Yes. You have Combo Brikama, you have Brikama Ba, you have a Brikamanding, that's how it is. Yeah, so that's it.
Okay. Let's do more text messages. Yes. Hi, Uncle Peter. Unlike his predecessor, since Mr. Sise took over office as NPP Executive Secretary, UDP outperformed them in all the elections they went into. With the current problems within the NPP, can Mr. Sise explain what they are doing differently to change the narrative or increase their chances in the 2026 presidential election? Oh, things have not been good for NPP since you took over.
No, I took over after all the elections. I came in after the local government
because
election.
you contested on behalf of the
so
party and got whipped by Yankuba Dabo. Now I understand why you are so critical of him.
No, I'm not critical of Yankuba. He's a good friend of mine, and I think this is. Let me make this clear for public disclosure. Yankuba is a brother. He's a good friend of mine. We, in fact, what people don't know, me and Yankuba speaks on telephone. So it's not my opponent. It's not my rival. It's a brother. And that brother would stay. But for the gentleman, just to inform you, I took over after the election cycle.
Okay.
So it's not that I was there when the other elections were going on. And as far as MPP is concerned, I think we have made a lot of headway in the last year or so. We have given over 50 scholarships to students of this country, who are citizens of this country, who their lives have been transformed. And there's a lot of development that MPP is doing as a party, transforming the political structure of the party. So definitely we are making a headway, and the popular support is increasing. We have seen young people, like the students wing of the National People's Party, very dedicated, very supportive. We have just launched in our last grand opening of a bureau, the Politico magazine, in the history of this country for a political party to institutionalize.
You even have a magazine?
Yeah, magazine, a very rich magazine. So I think
it's called what, Politico?
Politico magazine. If I have one in my bag, I would share with you. So this is...
Who's editing it?
We have a team of editors who are all MPP.
Paid by the state?
No. In fact, they are party workers. They are volunteering to do this. You see, you've got to give something to the party.
They're volunteers?
Yes, for the party. Yes.
With volunteers on a monthly allowance?
No, not on any monthly allowance. In fact, the good thing is whenever we are sitting together to be busy with this work, we'll get ourselves few box of chicken here and there. When I mean chicken, I don't mean the big fat chicken
come
box.
On. Chicken is chicken. Chicken is chicken, and you get them,
from... A little takeaway, a night out takeaway sort of. We do that. Yes.
And by the way, this texter is denying that 4-hour break thing. That it's never happened.
But possibly his department is not having 4-hour break, but other departments are having 4-hour break.
It says 4 hours break had never happened at the port. Let him give an example where it happened. Because the port has different sections.
Okay, the dockers. The dockers, for example.
No, he's a docker.
He's not. He's 4 hours. Let him tell us their working hours. He's listening. Let him tell us our working hours. I am sure he would not come back again.
We have only 3 minutes. How would you like to...
Peter, thank you so much for this opportunity. Thank you so much. And I thank the Gambian people. And I thank the supporters, the sympathizers of the National People's Party. One thing that I will always say, this Gambia belongs to each and every one of us. And President Barrow have said the last SONA that raised above politics. Gambia, Union, Komom. It belongs to each and every one of us. Today, if my neighbor's house is in trouble or luf ko jot, you know, ñu ñep ñoy fekki ko, ñoy dem fofu. So let's be brothers and sisters, let's be each other's keepers. Politics dafa dem di ñew, but Gambia remains. Leaders will go and come, but Gambia remains. It's important, and I thank you so much. And for the journalists in this train, you know, let's do our utmost to inform and educate the people.
Do you feel there's misinformation out there?
I'm not saying so, but just to emphasize that let's educate and inform.
Why would you throw that line in if it's totally redundant?
I mean, it's a trade that I have been in, Peter. Yes.
So
it's not alien.
So there's something you recognize?
I recognize the work of journalists in this country.
Which includes misinformation?
I'm not saying so, but it is important that we do diligent checks before we come out. It's quite important because it's a very, very important institution, and you can set any country into flames. We have seen what happened in other parts of the world where people are misinformed, and I think Gambia is very small. It's a small country. We are all brothers. So let's do our utmost to inform
Fantastic.
The people, and I thank you and everyone else in West Coast for this great job you're doing. Keep it up, and we want to see Peter here for the longest time.
Amen.
And thank you so much, Peter.
Seedy, thanks
and
for coming.
I say thanks to President Barrow for giving me the opportunity once more.
You come on my platform.
Yes.
And thank Barrow, who has not contributed a dime to this platform.
No, dañu wara joxe from President Barrow njugal. Waxuma ne dama ko delo njugal de, dama ko jox njugal.
Okay, all right. Thanks
so
very much. Seedy Cisse is the administrative secretary of the National People's Party. That's the president's party. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Have a good day.
Jar Oil, the company, have filling stations across the country, and our rates are relatively cheaper than anyone else across the country. Jar Oil is the biggest producer and distributor of cement in the country with the most competitive prices in the market.
Excellent jam, Suway.
Yo, apply. Yo, luta do de. Luta mënuloo jël moto nga andil ma xaalis. Hello?
Busel mu fine.
What?
Busel mu fine.
Oh. Yes!
Wave Axina Gambia. Deposit and withdraw money, pay bills and buy mobile credit without fees. Transfer money wherever in the country for only 1% fee. At Wave. Busel mu fine? Wave. Your money is yours.